Hello, my name is Nancy Longnecker and I coordinate the Science Communication program here at University of Western Australia. Some of you might be wondering what science communication is, so what I'll do in this short video for you is I'll tell you a little bit about science communication. I'll tell you what we do in the course here at UWA if you decide to do it as a major. And then you might be wondering, well, are there any jobs in science communication once I finish? So I'll tell you a little bit about what kind of employment opportunities there would be if you did a major in science communication at UWA. So what is science communication? Science communicators take very complex scientific information or technical information and explain that information to a general audience or to an audience that might not have the same background. So you might be talking to an audience of industry people or school children or retired people. There are a whole diversity of audiences that science communicators work with. But one of the key focuses of a good science communicator is to know who their audience is and what will be relevant to them. So if you were to decide to do a major at University of Western Australia in science communication, you would do this with any other science major. So you may have a major in physics or in psychology or anything in between and do a second major in science communication. What you would do within the major is in your first year, you would do an introductory unit called Introduction to Scientific Practices. What we do in this particular unit is that you learn a bit more about the scientific method and how do we actually acquire scientific knowledge, how do we communicate that knowledge, how do we assess the credibility of the information that's out there. So you look at lots of different sources of information and learn how to interpret them for people who might have a different background to yourself. So the second main part of your first year at university would be learning about people, because you need to learn how people behave, how people respond to things in order to be able to target your communication activities better. So in the second semester of your science communication major, you would do a psychology unit called Behavior in Context. So in level 2, in your second year of studying the science communication major, there are 2 units that you will do, and the key things about these units is that you develop up a lot of key skills that key communication skills that employers look for. So in first semester you do science writing, and in second semester you do science presentations. And the science writing unit, you write articles, you create a website about a controversial topic. In a lot of our units, you pick the topic that you want to work on. So if there's something particular interest to you, that's the topic that you can choose to write about or to speak about in the science presentations unit, in which you give talks, you learn the good, bad, and ugly of PowerPoint and how to use different kinds of visuals to help make your points more clearly. The one key thing about science communication is that we don't have any exams in our units, because we believe that the best way for you to demonstrate that you've learnt the material that we've covered and some of the skills is to actually create communication resources. And these go into your communication portfolio that you can then show to potential employers as evidence of your communication skills. In the third level of science communication studies, or your third year in the major, there's one key core unit that everyone does. And the core unit that everyone does is called Communication Strategies for Change. In this unit, you learn a lot about communication as persuasion. So, for example, you might want to be giving messages that will encourage people to have more environmentally friendly behavior or to have a healthier lifestyle. But you need to know a lot about how people respond to different framing of messages, different types of communication media. And its main assignment in this particular unit is to work with an external client and to develop up as a consultant to develop up a communication strategy for them. So again, that's another example of developing up something for your communication portfolio. The other 3 units that you would do in your major in your third year, you will choose from these 4 options. One of the units that you could choose from in your third year is Science Performance in first semester. In Science Performance, the people in this unit actually create their own science show that they give at a primary school. So you write a script, you develop up the use of props, and you work with professional science communicators at SciTech. Go out and learn how they will give demonstrations and use props more effectively. So another unit that you would choose from in the third year is called Exhibitions and Interpretation. And what you learn about in this particular unit is how exhibits at places like the Maritime Museum or SciTech or other science centers can clearly get scientific messages across. So you learn what makes a good science exhibit, and you will learn the criteria and apply those by going and evaluating existing displays or exhibits in different places. You'd also give a guided walk and learn how to convey a message across clearly. And you'd also get to dream up your own exhibition and make a pitch for that exhibition and create a panel for it. Another option that you can choose from is Science in the Media. This is a third year unit, which is a lot of fun. You get to create a podcast about a scientific concept that you're interested in, and you get to explain that via the podcasting. Create a movie where you interview a scientific researcher on campus and do a profile piece on them that helps to share some of the excitement of their scientific discoveries. You also write a media release to help get information about some of the exciting research that's happening on campus out to a broader audience. One of the key units in the science communication program is the Practicum Placement, where students actually get placed out in the world to work with an organization. It's a great networking opportunity, and it's a great opportunity to get a good letter of reference. And some of our students actually have job offers that come out of their practicum. One of our students actually was promoted before they even finished their practicum placement. They did get a job offer, and it was at a higher level than they were expecting. When you finished your science communication major, if you decide that you would like to continue your studies, there are other opportunities. We have postgraduate coursework, and we also have research degrees. So honors is an option, the Master of Science Communication is an option, and we have a robust and exciting PhD program. There are a number of different kinds of jobs that people with a background in science communication can do. And the program at UWA trains you for a variety of these kinds of jobs. There are three main areas of science communication that people go into. The first one is perhaps what you were thinking about when you heard science communication, and it's called Informal Education. You might work at places like SciTech or other science centers or museums or botanic gardens, aquarium, zoos, any place where there's an education component but there's scientific content that needs to be communicated. Another main area of science communication is in corporate communication. So you may work for a research organization like CSIRO or any of the state agencies that have a lot of scientific research activities. And you might work with the scientists to help get their messages out to either the industries that need to use them or the general public. That involves a lot of work with the media, and so the third main area of science communication is in work either as a journalist or with the media. Now, we do not have a science journalism course, but we do train people to work with the media. So those are the three main areas of science communication: informal education, corporate communication, and science media. So in summary, there are a lot of good points about the science communication that I'll just remind you about. Firstly, there are a lot of opportunities to work with professional science communicators in the outside world, which gives you great opportunities to network, get good letters of reference, and potentially see what kind of jobs you might want to do after you finish. The science communication units are a lot of fun. They're a lot of hard work, and you have to keep up throughout the semester as you produce your science communication resources. But at the end of the semester, there's no exam, and that's a huge relief to a lot of students. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have any further questions, you're welcome to contact us, and we look forward to greeting you when you come to study science communication at UWA.